See if I can do this quickly. No. Oh my god. Stream info. There. Okay. I'll tell this. Live from the office. There we go. Okay, great. Anyone. Safe. Should update is being listed sometime soon because I said it should be listed now. Okay, public, there we go. Okay, we are good to go. Now, I'll probably go ahead and delete that previous stream there because it was garbage. I got hung up. I noticed that the internet connection was pretty awful. And that was because my internet, my information to sign in and such has changed since the last time that I streamed, and I had not updated that on my phone because I usually just use the cellular data. When streaming, though, I need to connect, and so I had to do that. I had to shut the stream down so that I could update that info so I could get a nice steady stream instead of being hindered on here when I went live. Okay, so, yep, I don't want to give away too much yet. So, welcome to the Super Divorce YouTube channel. Super Divorce on YouTube. This is Nicholas Villars. Been a little while since I streamed, if you're not counting that last one that I did just a couple minutes ago. The failed attempt. But we're here. I'm hanging out in my office. I wanted to show you around a little bit, show you what I've been up to. Now, here is the view from where I'm going to be sitting when I'm doing my work here at the computer. In case you did not know, if you haven't been around for very long, maybe you haven't been following along, I have been renovating my attic for the past, what was it? Well, it's taken about 5 months to turn this space that I'm in right now, to turn it from a decrepit old just attic, just a walk-up attic, to my new office. It is something that I've had in mind to do in some way, shape, or form since we moved into this house. You know, the first time we walked up here, it was like, this would be plenty of room to turn into a living space. And I finally did it. It has taken some time. It took going through one team of contractors who did a horrible, horrible job. I had to let them go. It still ended up costing me quite a bit of money. Not good. Not good at all. But anyway, here we are. This is where I'm going to get a lot of shit done now. I'm really looking forward to it. So I wanted to share the space a little bit in a live stream format. And it's been a while since I've live streamed. So I figured it'd be good to hop on here and see what's going on, see if anyone joins in the fun. In these Corona times, I'm having a Corona time myself right now. So let me show you around a little bit, guys. Let me show you around. Let me just show you what we got going on here in my new place to hang out. So this is where I sit. Here's my new desk. This is a brand new desk that I got. I've been wanting a desk like this for some time, and I kept putting it off. I was like, you know what? When I get a nice new office, that's when I'll go ahead and do that. And so I got this. There we go. Okay. So I got this nice. Oh boy. See, I got this nice desk. Let me just get this stuff out of the way. So you can pull out your keyboard. You got a place for your nice keyboard right here. This is my Juno. I've got this right here. I've got my MIDI controller over there, a little mini guy. I got my audio interface, my small little audio box over there. That kind of pushes back in. You know, I got some shit down there, right? Chaos laters and whatnot. There's fucking shit right there. I got these slippers from Walmart a while back. They're pretty comfortable. But this right here, this is a fantastic monitor. This is, I believe, a 42 or 43 inch. I cannot recall off the top of my head. But, you know, this right here, I remember getting a TV this size for my living room in, you know, the first apartment that Jess and I had, my wife. Our first apartment back in probably 2006 or 7, maybe 2006. We got a TV about this size, and I remember feeling like it was huge. You know, it was a 1080p at that point, HD TV, and it was just, it was state of the art. I think we paid close to $2,000 for it. I mean, that same TV now would probably cost you about $150 at Walmart. This was not $150. This was quite expensive with all the bells and whistles. But look, you know, I can play games here. I'm going to do that. When I get back to Shenmue, I'll be able to have my game going here. I'll have the chat over here for people who want to chat along. You know, I got my Switch over here and the NES Classic and the SNES Classic, and there's your LGX, your Sega, your Atari, my PS Classics downstairs somewhere. This right here, guys, is a fantastic device that I highly recommend anyone in Comicsgate. If you're a comic book collector, get one of these. This is an IntelliScanner. Funny story about this. I don't know exactly how many years ago it was. I think it had to have been about 10. At least 10 years ago. My wife bought me this. This was the IntelliScanner comic book edition. That little scanner came in this lunchbox dealie here. And it had a program with it that was kind of like iTunes. As you can see, this looks similar to like the 2010 era iTunes. But it was software that this company came out with, and they had a database that was updated weekly, I guess at that point, with comic book information. So you could get your comics for the week, bring them home, scan them, and then it would go into your personal database, kind of like having, you know, your fucking, what do you call it? Fucking, this is the fuck part of the video where I have to say some curse words to make sure that people don't think that this is a kid-friendly channel, that I'm trying to target children, you know, for streaming purposes and whatnot. You know, because you can't do that anymore. You can't target children with videos and hope to make ad revenue. I don't think you can get monetized, stuff like that. So this is not a kid's channel, and I don't make kid-friendly videos. Even though I'm talking about comic books and video games and such, that's not what we're about here. I used to try and run a pretty family-friendly show, but now I don't want to be charged $50,000 per video. I don't want that to happen. Hey, my wife's here. Hey, Jess. Yeah, I figured that was going to happen. She says that she really had to dig to find this live stream and she was not notified. I've gotten used to that at this point, so I don't anticipate many people showing up here. But I'm going to do it anyway because I got to get back in the swing of things at some point and get back to it. But I was talking about this, you know, this thing. So the software that came with this back 10 years ago doesn't work anymore. Okay, spoiler alert, it does not work anymore. This works just fine. This will scan comic books. This will scan movies. This will scan any sort of UPC barcode that you're looking at, you know, that's used at a retailer. So this still works, and you can get one of these for fairly cheap. Just go online and find one, and it works with this new program right here. This is called Comic Collector, and this is a fantastic program. I scanned my entire collection over the course of several days into this system here. How many comics was it? It was this many. 3,183 comics I scanned in. And I'm sure to some people that's like, oh, you're small potatoes, you're a noob. But, I don't buy every issue that comes out. I don't buy every title. It's a modest collection. Here's all my stuff over there. You can see I finally found a decent place to put my long boxes. So I've got those over there. That's nice. And I've got my entire collection logged here. So I can go in. Let's say, what do we want to look at here? How about G.I. Joe? Because that's something I'm kind of interested in finding at the moment. So the old Real American Hero. So I can go in here, I click it over here, and then it pulls up my entire list of G.I. Joe books that I've picked up. I just started buying these within the past year, I would say. And, so when I'm out at comic shops, I'll just go through the back issues and see if they've got any of the Marvel G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero, and I'll just kind of grab whatever they've got. And so you can see here I've picked up a few of the same ones. Now, I won't have to do that in the future because I can download this app for this program and it will sync up to, the program at home where I've scanned all these issues in. And then when I'm out and about, I can just pull up my collection and it's like, hey, okay, Marvel, G.I. Joe, yeah. I'm at Mavericks. Let me see what their back issues look like. Do I have issue 51? Yes, I do. I already have it. So I don't have to buy it again. You see how this is very helpful if you're the type of person who's going out, you're trying to find an entire run of a certain series or whatever. Same with Spawn. I've recently decided to undertake the task of collecting all the Spawny issues. And, I picked up some of these over time. These are not all recent purchases, but, here's all the Spawn that I have at the moment. And I just recently started buying them again. As you can see, I went from like issue 116 to 297. Started buying them again, to get ready for issue 300, as I think a lot of people have done. But anyway, when I'm out and about now, I can check my app and see which ones I still need. And that's very handy because in the past I would have to kind of write down the issues that I have already, take them to the comic shop, kind of compare them against what I find in the back issue bins. So this is a really cool program. And then also when you click on a particular issue, it gives you the cover art, some information about it. Certain comic books, I think it seems like some of the newer ones, perhaps Absolute Carnage will be this way, even though Donny Cates is a fucking dick. You can get like a plot description. Donny Cates blocked me. Donny Cates blocked me the other day because I called him out for his failed virtue signaling. He didn't like that very much. But, that's okay. This was a fun series to read still. I just don't know if I will be supporting him monetarily in the future. There are just so many comic books out there to read. Can you really justify continuing to give people money who treat you like a piece of shit? It's not that I'm really butthurt either. I'm not like, oh, I can't believe you would do this to me. It's just like, okay, well, I'll just find something else because there's plenty of stuff out there. Not much coming from Marvel or DC these days, but plenty coming from other places. So anyway, that's kind of my computer setup. That's pretty good, I think. I'll show you around a bit more. So we move over from this region, from the computer region, we go. We can walk this way. There's my Circa Survive banner, flag, whatever you want to call it. I got that hanging up. That's a map from Iceland. That is actually from Iceland. I can't remember the name of the little shop where I bought that. It was kind of a little mom and pop kind of gift shop. They had some like oddities and knickknacks and stuff. It was a cool little place in Reykjavik. But that made it all the way from Iceland back over here, and now it's framed and it sits right there. It's pretty neat. Some other stuff here. That was a fantastic show. Get Up Kids and Saves the Day. Remember that, Jess? That was a great show. Just those two. They each played for like an hour and a half. Hour and a half sets from both of those bands. It was pretty awesome. So here's my desk. This is one of those fancy desks that see it? Raise and lower it with those little buttons right there. Pretty cool, huh? This is a nice desk from IKEA. I got my back issues down there. I got the Warrior comic book series from the Ultimate Warrior that I'm going through right now. Taking notes because I love the Ultimate Warrior's warrior mentality. And this comic book, a lot of people will laugh it off. That's fine. That's okay. I understand, but to me, I love the warrior. I love his warrior mindset. And these books, as cryptic and kind of strange as his writing is, if you're the type of person who's into his take no prisoners philosophy towards life, a lot of the sort of inner dialogue going on within the character, they're good representations, I think, of how he approached living. And so I find it interesting for that reason. Also, I like the artwork. I mean, it's just pure, like, badass 90s art, anyhow. So this is where my drawing and such is going to be taking place. Probably some writing right here as well. I've got some inspirational issues up here. Some Cyberfrog. Some Vampirella Cyberfrog. Some Green Lantern. Spawn number 1. Inspirational stuff to keep me motivated. Here's an old album. Here's an old Great American Beast EP. That thing, that's pretty rough. It's a pretty rough, hard-hitting album to this day. I found these tracks on my computer a while back, and I gave them a listen. I was like, man, this is the EP basically that got us signed to Trustkill Records. That artwork, well, it's okay. But I will say this, there's something to be said for your kind of rough versions of your songs, your tunes. If you ever record songs that you end up doing later, like another version of them in a higher quality studio, as much as I love the full-length album that we did with Josh Schroeder, there's something about those very early raw cuts that gets lost, I think, when you re-record songs. And it happens with like remasters, like very high-end remasters. When, say, Metallica re-releases an album, like, remastered version, or Ozzy Osbourne 20 years later, any artist you can think of, they do it because they have the technology to remix, remaster things, and give you maybe more the sound that they were originally going for, that they couldn't quite achieve when they recorded it for one reason or another. But then you listen to it and you feel like, as I said, something is kind of lost in the process. It's this kind of pure, raw energy, So that's how I feel about this album. These songs are not available on the internet. Probably most people will never hear them, but I listened to them recently and I still am a big fan. So anyway, here I've got a little chalkboard over here for jotting down ideas. On the other side, it's got a whiteboard so that I can use the dry erase marker to do shit like that. And there's Pee-wee. Now over here, I've got this little access door, and you can open this up, and this goes back in here. Got a little light, some storage. You know, if my home's being invaded, perhaps I can run up here and bring my family and we can hide behind the wall and no one will know. Unless my home's invaded by someone who's watching this video. Hopefully you don't do that. I would appreciate it if you would not. Might recall this, maybe you've seen this before. I've shown this off when it was in my old office. Little shelf with some buckets, some candy corn colored buckets, yeah. Fonz, Trump, little sitting area. You know, over here I've got a little coffee table with some more buckets. This guy right here, I was just talking about the Great American Beast, right? This guy right here is an incense holder that we used to keep in the van when we were touring in the Great American Beast. And we called him Kip. His name was Kip the Magic Dragon, in honor of our guitar player Kip, who had to leave the band because he moved. He was a great guy. He still is. He still is a great guy. But I've kept this all these years. And I finally, it was in several pieces, you see. There was a crack somewhere. Somewhere around here is cracked. I had to super glue it back together. I had to super glue his head back on. So that's, you know, this has been sitting around. Several times I actually considered tossing it out because I was like, you know, am I going to really put this back together? And every time I'd be like, yes, I'm really going to. And I finally did. And I've burned several sticks of incense up here that my wife thought that smelled like bacon. She thought it was like a bacon incense. I'm not sure what flavor it is. I prefer Nag Champa, but I've not picked up any new incense in some time. This is just kind of what I found in the incense holder that was downstairs. So anyhow, hey, Lone Wolf Cub is here. It has been a while. It's good to see you, sir. It is good to see you. Yeah, you caught me live, finally. Very cool. This is a little game of like skee ball that you can play with your finger. That's fun. I've got some other stuff over there. I'll talk about that later. That's good. That's good. A nice globe lamp with a foot switch. Pretty cool. This is actually rose gold. It's a rose gold colored lamp. You might not be able to tell from this video, but it is. I could talk about this. I think I talked about this on a different stream. This guy on Twitter, I can't remember his name. He's a fantastic artist, but he does you know, some awesome work here. And this one in the back, this is what I paid for. This was an original. I said, "Can you make a half Snake Eyes?" Right there. Half Snake Eyes, half Storm Shadow. And I would like that drawn. And he did that, and it's awesome. But now, what's his name? Kickley. There it is. It says it right there. Sorry. Okay. So anyway, here's just showing you around a little bit more. Cub says, you don't show up in my video feed like another small YouTuber 2 hours ago. Which stream I missed because of that? Well, you know what? I don't know what to say. I don't know what they're doing right now. It's disappointing, but you know, what am I going to do? I just have to get on here and I guess implore people to do what I was saying to do back when I was doing my daily comic book videos, is get on here and just check the channel once a day or so just to see if we've got any videos uploaded, or maybe you'll happen to stop by as I'm streaming, which would be good. YouTube is favoring the big ones. Yeah, well, that seems to be an unfortunate trend. I'm not sure exactly what they're trying to do there, because it seems like this is a type of platform where you're going to want to foster growth. I mean, the more channels that are successful, let me turn it around so I can level with you for a second. The more channels that are successful, it would seem to me, that's more possible ad revenue that you can get, YouTube. So I don't know, I don't understand this whole thing of like throttling smaller channels, withholding views from people, making it harder for fans and content creators to meet up. That doesn't make much sense to me. The more large channels you have, the more possible ads you can sell. I don't quite understand. It's like, you think of how cable TV works. Traditional cable TV, it's like you have a channel. On that channel, there is only so much ad space that can be sold because the content is going to be taking up a majority of the time. In the breaks, you have a certain number of slots that you can sell to people who want to pay for advertising. If you add another channel, then that allows you more slots in which you can sell ads. YouTube, I seem to think, works in a similar way where it's like, but really they're unlimited in their capacity to add new channels. With your cable TV networks, those are limited to a certain extent. Even though now, compared to, say, in the 80s, when you had a handful of channels, now you probably have over 1,000 if you've got, Spectrum or Comcast or whatever. That's still a limited number compared to the number of YouTube channels that you have. Now, if every one of those YouTube channels was sort of supported and fostered to grow, seems to me that would be more and more ad space that you could sell to advertisers. So I don't understand it. It does not make sense to me. Cub says they are withholding the videos even 30 minutes after the stream was over. Yeah, I'm not sure what their angle is. I don't know what they're doing there. It doesn't add up to me. So anyhow, okay, let me. Oh, are we back? Okay. I think we're good now. Hopefully we're good. Can you hear me now? Okay. All right. So Bender got me these. These are storyboards and a promotional poster for the movie Fall Break. And it's signed by the director, Buddy Cooper. He's also the writer. And we reviewed this video on Super Scary. You can go back and watch that. Find it. Hey, you just now got my notification. Well, that's very nice of them to finally get that over to you. But if you've not watched our review of this on the Super Divorce channel, look up Super Divorce Fall Break review on Super Scary, something like that. And I might still have a playlist for Super Scary. I can't remember off the top of my head. But in any event, you should watch our review and then go and watch this movie because it's fantastic. And these are original storyboards that Buddy Cooper himself actually drew out for this film. So that was a very sweet gift from Bender, and I finally have a place where I can hang it up. This is the first time I've ever had it displayed properly. So there we go. Over here is my collection of sort of reissue Transformers, the G1 Walmart re-releases. I've got some of those up there. These came from some Thundercats blind boxes. Hey, Me82 is here. How's it going, buddy? Been a while. Good to see you. Good to see some familiar faces in these troubling times. Glad to have you guys here so I can show you around my new office. Just showing you some of my knickknacks that I've got on display. This is really cool. I've talked about this a little bit. Everyone goes on about the the NES Classic, the Sega Mini, the Super Nintendo and such. The Neo Geo is really cool because it's like a small arcade cabinet. You can actually play the games right on this little screen, or you can hook it up to your TV via HDMI. And I've got the Neo Geo controllers that you can use as well. Really neat. Probably my favorite, old system re-release. Pretty cool. Me82 says it really has been a while. Happy to see the stream. Good to see something cool when everyone's going on about such bad stuff. Yeah, like I said, troubling times, but I thought it'd be fun to come on here and show everyone finally what all the time away has been about, really, because pretty much all my free time has been spent trying to get this new office set up, and finally, here we are. Here's something that I don't think I've gotten to show off. Last year at Star Wars Celebration, I got the idea. I thought it would be really neat to go around to all of the vendors that were there and to see if I could collect the entire Star Wars Shadows of the Empire toy line while I was at Star Wars Celebration. And I was able to do that. I got like everything. That was a fun little treasure hunt while I was there. It kind of kept me busy looking around at all the different things. Even though Star Wars obviously has seen better days, that was a fun little, what would you call it? Scavenger hunt, treasure hunt. That was kind of cool. These right here also came from Star Wars Celebration last year. I really like these action figures they released. You had to stand in a special line to pick these up. These kind of holographic, encased Obi-Wan and Darth Maul figurines. Pretty neat. There we go. I'll just put that back. Me82 says, me and my father are going to be building an arcade machine with an old emulator machine. Hey, that's a cool idea. We've got a few of the arcade 1-up cabinets downstairs in the kids' playroom. Those are all really cool. We've got Galaga, Star Wars, the Marvel one, and Ninja Turtles. Some Legos. We're going to have to do some Legos soon because it's been so long. I believe Me82 and Cub, you guys both, I think, were around when we did the Voltron set. I believe you might have stopped in a few times when we were working on that stuff. But I got this, the Stranger Things Lego set. That needs to get done. And then I'll show you something else we're going to have to work on at some point soon. Here's another really cool toy line that's come out recently that I am a big fan of. I love these. The Masters of the WWE Universe. And they've done this toy line where they've mixed WWE wrestlers with Masters of the Universe, and they have put these toys out in the style of the old classic 80s Masters of the Universe toys, which were some of the first toys that I remember having when I was a kid. So it hits me right in the nostalgia. There's the ring. Actually, this set right here came with the ring and then Triple H and John Cena, the special figures. This one is just the ring by itself. So that's what it looks like. So you got John Cena, Faker John Cena, take off Faker, the blue He-Man, if you ever watched the show. You got Roman Reigns, Sting. He's got these kind of fucking Scorpion. That's what I'm looking for. He's got the scorpion claws back there. Finn Balor's got kind of like a demon thing going on. You got Ultimate Warrior, Triple H, Macho Man, and Rey Mysterio. Me82 says, my first toys I remember were like WWF action figures. Yeah. Sting was a universe master? Yes, he was. Of course he was. Just showed you the Stranger Things Lego set. Here are some Stranger Things figures that I've got down here. Upside down Will. I really love the packaging on this one. How he's kind of like Zombie Boy, and they actually put him in upside down. I thought that was clever. This right here is probably one of the most expensive action figures that I own. If you look this guy up on eBay, I think it sells for between like $150 to $200 now. Though I haven't looked it up in a while. I think the last time I checked was maybe a year and a half ago or something like that. But I was very surprised at how expensive this was. This was kind of like the variant version. I think the regular one was just like Michael Myers. This one obviously is him with the sheet over himself from the scene where he walks into the bedroom, and what's her name? PJ Souls, I believe, is in bed, and you get the obligatory tit shot, as Randy from Scream says. Yeah. Stranger Things borrowed its font from Needful Things, says Wolf Cub. Perhaps it was an homage with the Needful, Stranger, that type of deal. I would imagine it was more of an homage. I think they really tipped the cap to a lot of different things in that show. And then, there's Sam from Trick or Treat. I'm a big fan of that movie. And I love this guy. I picked this up, what was it? I don't know, not the most recent Halloween, but the one before. R4 Boo 18, the candy corn droid. I actually have an extra one of these. It's right there, and I plan to give this away on a stream sometime to some big Star Wars fan. I don't know when I'm going to do it, but that's actually, I've got it sitting right here. I will give this away on a stream at some point in the future. Maybe if, I don't know when. I don't know who it's going to go to either. And I don't think it's probably not going to be a contest or anything. I'll just give it away sometime. Maybe to whoever bugs me the most for the longest. Over a long period of time, you just continue bugging me. So we got some comics and some manga here, some books, cool stuff. Old TV for the old game systems that I got. So I got my NES, the Super Nintendo, N64, my Sega with the Sega CD attached to it. Got that right there. This TV I found on the side of the road when I was driving home one day. Jess would be able to tell you about this. We were driving right down the street from our house, and I saw this out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, oh shit, I've got to turn around and get that TV. And I did. And it's got the wood grain, and it works. And I was like, that's going to be perfect for playing old video games on. Some Good Guy cereal. Cub says, Aduda just finished a review on a Buddha movie, Siddhartha by Herman Hesse. How was it? Oh, I guess I can just watch your review, can't I? Unless it's not gone live yet. Should I just watch it? You'll have to let me know. There's a big-ass Zelda cartridge, some cartridge games, mask from the most recent Coheed and Cambria album special edition. Came with a nice collector's box there. Unfortunately, when I was having work done, and this was down in my old office, one of the dunderheads who was working on our house knocked this off of the shelf where it was sitting, and it landed on this edge and it damaged the box. And I was pretty butthurt about that. I was not happy. John Locke, probably my favorite character from Lost. Don't tell me what I can't do. I'm just showing you around, you know what I mean? I love Mad Balls. I love these guys. These are the horror-themed Mad Balls that they released within the past couple years. Been collecting these. Cub says the book is good, but the movie's meh. Review comes out Wednesday. Okay, I'll keep an eye out for it, and I'll comment to let you know. Some more figurines over here. There's the Cena and the Triple H that came with that one. And there's a better shot at what the Stranger Things Lego set looks like. Got some posters going on over here. Bill and Ted. You might recognize that poster from the Predator music video. This was in my son's fake bedroom. If you watch the Predator music video, you can't comment on it anymore because it features a little kid. For some reason, they turned commenting off on that video, even though people were saying great things, saying fantastic things, how much they loved it. People can no longer go on that video and talk about how much they liked it. YouTube decided to turn off comments because I'm not sure exactly, because it featured my young son. I don't know. But anyway, this was hanging up in the video. You can spot that very poster in the bedroom where he's dancing around. If you go back and watch it, you'll be able to see that. Same with this one, I think. You'll be able to find that one in there too. That Metallica poster. I've had this one for a long time. I think I got that Metallica poster when I was maybe in like 4th grade. Held on to that one for some years. Held on to this Spider-Man 2 poster since the movie came out. So that's got to be close to 15 or so years old. This Star Wars Celebration poster came from last year's Celebration. So some cool stuff there, huh? Me82 is giving a drooly face emoji about Spider-Man 2. So I'm guessing you like it. Is that your favorite superhero movie of all time? A lot of people say that. A lot of people say that they love that movie even more than things like The Dark Knight, more than The Joker. To be honest with you, it's been a long time since I've watched it. I probably should. I think it would be fun to go back through those Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies with my son. Because he's seen all the new ones, but why haven't I shown him those yet? That's kind of a failure on my part. That's a dropping of the ball, I would say. Here's some cool little knickknacks. These special edition 35 years TMNT original comic book series figures. Of course, they were all wearing a red mask in the original comic book, if you didn't know that. So no, they're not all Raphael. Spider-Man 2 is my favorite movie, full stop, says Me82. Then Back to the Future 2. Wow. High praise then. High praise. Well, we'll have to show it again. You probably like that poster, I would imagine. I'm glad I held on to it so I could show that to you. These are the Voltron 84 toys that came out about, I don't know, year and a half ago. Maybe a little bit longer than that. Wolf Cub says, YouTube overlooked the Predator version. The comments are for now still on. Oh, I think it's because of the video, the actual It might just be the I don't know, the original upload for some reason. I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on with that. But the Voltron 84 toys, very similar to the originals that came out. Voltron Lego set over there that we did on this channel. Some more Mad Balls. And this is a really great spot for these. Nice spot to hang those. Just tailor-made for them, really. We got some more Transformers G1 reissues right here from the Walmart exclusives. We've got our WWE TMNT team-up dudes there. Got a couple Boglins, which I've always been a big fan of. Go to totims.com. TOTIMS. Totims.com. And pick up one of these guys. I don't know if anyone remembers these, but I loved these when they were in stores. They were really cool. They were a little bit bigger, and they came in a kind of like it looked like a wooden crate, and they were, little hand puppets, and you could put your hand in, their mouths would move. These are sort of miniature versions, but they're made by the original creator. He got the rights back to them, and he has a website where he'll do like limited batch runs of all sorts of different shapes and sizes and different themes. He'll do one for certain holidays usually. I think both of these were for Halloween like 3 years ago. So check that out. Pretty cool that he has gotten the rights back to that and he can continue making those. Cub says, I want a totem from Ruin Johnson's head. Well, maybe you can request that. Maybe you can send him an email and he will make one for you. He does custom ones. They're kind of expensive, but Me82 says they started removing comments on videos with kids because one guy went and found comments by creeps on kids' gymnastics vids and made a viral video exposing YouTube for enabling pedos. Yeah, well, it's not surprising, I guess. Unfortunate, that's the kind of shit you have to worry about. Whatever, Then we all suffer for it. But that's okay. Well, I guess I just won't be able to feature my son in any future videos if I want people to comment, which kind of sucks. Because he did a great job. He did a fantastic job. Some more action figures there. Some guys up here. I still haven't opened this yet. This is king size Kirby. It's like, obviously, a very large book featuring Jack Kirby art from his time at Marvel. I went through quite a bit of this, which is awesome. A lot of Yoji Shinkawa, Hero Quest, Giant Turtles puzzle there. Brody Bruce. Man, changed my life the first time I saw Mallrats. Made me really re-embrace the nerdy, fun part of myself. The part that's like, what? I don't care if people don't think it's cool that I read comics or that I collect action figures. You know what I mean? Because I had to put that stuff away for a little while. I would say like 8th and 9th grade. Yeah, a couple years there. It's like, man, that stuff's not cool anymore. Because at that point, late 90s, early 2000s, it wasn't like it is now. And it was a little better then than it was probably in like the 80s, if you were growing up in the 80s. But still, it was not cool to be super into like comic books and video games and shit. It was not cool to do that yet. So it was something of mine that I tried to kind of push this aside and hide. You get over that. Oh, I'm too old for comics and that type of shit. And then I watched Mallrats and I was like, damn, I want to be Brody. Fuck being cool. I don't give a shit, man. I'm going to be Brody Bruce. And then I went and I literally I had my mom take me to the mall, and I got a jacket just like this. I ordered the Brody t-shirt from viewaskew.com. I think it was like at the end of my freshman year in high school. And I started growing my hair out because I had very short hair at the time, and I had kept it nice and close cropped, nice buzz cut for several years. And I was like, I'm going to let my hair get shaggy and just fucking be a comic book guy. And that's what I did. And that like totally changed the trajectory of really my entire life, I would say. I fucking lived the gimmick. You know, me and my friend, my friend Chris and I in particular, we went to the mall like every fucking weekend, every Friday and Saturday. We were at the mall just doing that, being mall rats, walking around, going to the arcade, trying to get the nerve to talk to girls, getting shut down, walking over to the mall would close, and then we would walk across the street from the mall to the bowling alley, and we would go from the bowling alley over to the movie theater and just fucking hang out and just be like, you know, just loitering basically. But it was awesome. So glad for those times. Anyway, Night of the Creeps. Yeah, funny story about this. Funny story about this guy. I picked this up just because I thought it looked really cool when I saw that Scream Factory was going to be releasing this special edition action figure with the movie. And I had never even watched this movie until 2 nights ago. 2 nights ago, I finally watched this. But I got this collector's edition set because I thought it looked so awesome, and I love pretty much every movie like this from this era. So I was like, I know I'm going to like it. And it was limited to however many. And I was like, I'm just going to buy one, and I'll get around to it. And I finally did. And I love Fred Dekker because I'm a huge, huge fan of Monster Squad. It's like one of my favorite movies from when I was a kid, and it still is to this day. But, of course, yes, I loved Night of the Creeps. So I've got this right here. And then also, this poster came with the same set right there. So I've got that hanging up. This, I think, was the special edition artwork that they had done just for the re-release from Scream Factory, which is, you know, like the title of Shout Factory's horror movie line. Anyway, Cub says that it's sad that Fred Dekker was involved in the last Predator disaster. He wrote the script. I still didn't see it, you know, but him being involved made me interested enough to be curious. I still would like to watch it at some point. Because what was it? Was it him and Shane Black? Is that who did The Last Predator? Because that seems like it should be a pretty decent pairing. I was surprised at sort of the negativity surrounding it. I couldn't really understand what could be so awful about it. You know, it seems like a no-brainer that those two teaming up would be able to put together at least an entertaining horror action movie, because that's really all I'd be looking for from it. But I guess you're saying it wasn't even entertaining. It was not, you know, like they both kind of phoned it in, perhaps. That seems weird to me that they would get a hold of a franchise like that and not do a good job. But I don't know. So there's some Bootios. Here are some Henry David Thoreau bookmarks that I got from Walden Pond, which is a very fantastic place if you ever get to go there. And don't forget RoboCop 3. Yeah, you know what? I want to go back and watch that sort of with fresh eyes, because I hear that there's a lot in that movie that sort of forecasts the future of superhero films. They just weren't able to pull it off correctly. That's kind of what I've heard from people. So I think with that perspective, it would be interesting. Here's a Soilo Pez dispenser set that I got. Robo Cub. Here's a piece that I got. This is some artwork from is it Kyung Lee? I'm not sure exactly how he pronounces his name, but it's the guy who does Knuckle Bomb, Was it Battle Maiden Knuckle Bomb? Yeah, that should be arriving sometime soon. I'm looking forward to that. But that's Cyber Frog there. It was for like the Halloween theme drawing that people did of Cyber Frog. So there's my Jake the Snake autograph. Here's a little Nick and Jesse Go to Iceland picture book that Jess got for me. What do we got back here? That's probably among my most expensive comics that I own. This is a 9.6 graded Ultimate Spider-Man white variant #1. That's a good book. It's a good book to have. That was before Brian Michael Bendis forgot how to write comic books. This run of Ultimate Spider-Man is fantastic. I love his work on that. If you've not read it, it's really a great time. You should check it out. You should make more fancy picture books because no one does the traditional photo album anymore. Here's a Rose Tico. I got this for $2.29 at Kroger one day. And here's a Rose Tico Funko Pop, of course. And here is an original piece of Ethan Van Sciver art. This is very significant in the world of comics because this is the very first Comicsgate crossover with a mainstream title. This is the Cyber Frog Vampirella crossover, the first one. And I've got the book hanging up over there behind my drawing desk, but that's a pretty significant piece as far as I'm concerned, and that is the actual original. You can see this is can you see it? I think you can. Yeah, you can still kind of see some of the blue pencil behind the ink, which is how Ethan says that he likes to do his art. He thinks that people doing kind of extensive sketches with pencil, he calls it a waste of time. He says, "Why would you do all that why would you do all that work?" He's like, "You just need a rough blue line, and then you go in and you start doing your inking." And that's how he does it. So if you examine this very closely, you'll see like very rough, sketchy blue lines, not much detail at all. And then he does pretty much all of his work in the inking process, which is pretty interesting. So there you go. Now, continuing. Boy, we're almost through. This is a fun game. I haven't played... Well, where is it? There's another one. I think it's behind maybe the Forbidden Island. But you read these cards, and it's kind of like a choose your own... Yeah, it is a choose your own adventure game. And it's a fun little game to play. Something you can get through, in like an evening. But this Masters of the Universe Castle Grayskull Mega Construct set. That's what it looks like when it's put together. It actually opens up. It's huge. These are the type of figures that go with it. I would like to put this together over a period of time on this channel. I'd like to live stream that kind of the way that I did with the Voltron set. I think that would be fun to do. A nice, huge set to get through. Some people like to talk shit about Mega Constructs, and I think it's unwarranted. They'll say that they're like rip-offs of Lego, but the stuff is high quality. It's not like cheap Lego knockoff. This is like, you put these together and it's pretty impressive. They don't do things exactly like Lego does either. There are some pieces that you would never see in a Lego set that you get in the Mega Constructs. I think they do a little more risk-taking. They go a little more outside the box sometimes. So check that out. How about it? There's a big-ass Pinkerton poster. My favorite album of all time. That came with the special edition of the vinyl set. I've got that somewhere. Where do I have that? Where did I put that? There it is.